You hand back your badge. The elevator doors close. Nobody stops you. 12 months from now, you'll be exactly where you planned. Rested, clear-headed, ready to go back. But you'll also be $151,000 poorer than you think. Not from the trip, not from rent, from something that never once showed up on a bank statement. And here's what nobody told you before you put in your notice. Here's how it actually went. You didn't quit in a rage. You planned it. You built a spreadsheet. You had a number, $32,000, enough to cover 12 months of rent, food, and a little breathing room. You watched other people burn out chasing raises that never came. And you decided you'd rather buy back a year of your life while you still had the energy to enjoy it. You'd been at the company 3 years, steady 5% raises, a manager who liked you, and one Tuesday, staring at your calendar full of meetings about meetings, you did the math, and it worked. On paper, it worked. You told yourself this wasn't reckless. This was the responsible version of quitting. And honestly, it was the logical move. You'd saved, you'd planned, you'd done everything right. But logic doesn't account for what comes next. The first few weeks feel like winning. You sleep past your alarm. You cook actual meals. You go for walks at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday just because you can. Your friends are jealous. Your inbox is empty. For the first time in years, your chest doesn't feel tight when you wake up. This part is real. This isn't the setup for a punish line. The rest and the clarity, those are genuinely yours. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But quietly in the background, one email arrives that you barely register, your COBRA health insurance bill, 600 BALs. You pay it without thinking. It's fine, you budgeted for this. Most people stop paying attention around here. That's the first problem. Month 3, still fine. The $32,000 is draining on schedule, almost exactly the pace you planned for. Month 5. You notice you've stopped opening LinkedIn. You tell yourself you'll ramp back up to networking closer to the end. You don't. Month 7. The number in your account is smaller than you expected, even accounting for the plan. Health insurance alone has quietly taken $4,550 out of your $32,000, money you budgeted for living, not for staying insured. Here's the part almost nobody tracks. While you were off, the job you left didn't stay still. The role you had, it got restructured. The raises your former coworkers received, 2 rounds of them, roughly 5% each, those are gone for you, not stolen. Just never applied to a salary you no longer have. I know what you're thinking, but we're not at the important part yet. Month 10. You start applying. You expected this to take a few weeks. It doesn't. The average job search after a gap like this runs closer to 4 months, and your gap makes recruiters ask a question you don't love answering. So, what were you doing for a year? Every week that search stretches is another month. Your $32,000 wasn't the finish line you thought it was. It's still moving. So is the real cost, the one you can't see yet. Month 14. You get an offer. You take it. Relief. The number is $82,000. You pause. You made $85,000 when you left. You do the quick math. You're not just flat, you're behind. Because the raises that would have taken you to $91,000 by now never happened. Not because anyone punished you. Because time moved and you weren't in the room for it. Your savings account, once $32,000, now reads $1,200. This is the part people don't simulate before they decide. Here's the number nobody shows you at the start of the video, the one this entire simulation was building toward. The sabbatical didn't cost you $32,000. That part you already knew. It cost you the $9,500 in retirement contributions, an employer match you didn't make during those 16 months. Left alone in an index fund until retirement, that $9,500 would have grown to roughly $75,000. It cost you the salary reset. Starting back at $82,000 instead of climbing to $91,000, a gap that follows every future raise, every future negotiation, compounding quietly for the rest of your career. Run that forward, and it's another $76,000 in lifetime earnings, conservatively. Added up, not $32,000, closer to $51,000. You didn't spend that money, you just never earned it. And that's the part a bank statement will never show you. If you'd taken the same year, kept even a part-time consulting contract running and paused, not stopped, your 401k contributions, the math changes entirely. Same rest, a fraction of the cost. You weren't wrong to want the year. You weren't careless. You did the math anyone would do, the math that fits on a spreadsheet. The problem was never your spreadsheet. It's that some costs don't show up until years later. In a retirement account, you won't check for decades. If you're actually considering this, before you go, run one more number. Not, how much do I need to survive the year? Run, what does one part-time contract, or even a single freelance client, do to this math? Keeping one thread of income, enough to keep your 401k match alive. can cut that $151,000 number by more than half. The sabbatical isn't a mistake. Walking into it blind is. That's what no one shows you. Until now. Next week we're simulating what actually happens when you say yes to every credit card just this once. If you want to see what that really costs, subscribe. It's free and it might matter.